Hi, this is Chris Wagner from Kratos BI. The data guide of the week this week is Chris Webb, and today we're going to be going over one of his latest blog posts that talks about how to get better performance out of Power BI using the exact same data. I found this really interesting. I wanted to share this with you guys as well. So let's get to it. Oh. All right. So, as you may or may not know, out on KratosBI.com, the home of the data guides, we've got a number of different data guides that are listed out here that are all key influencers in the space who you should be connecting to, following on LinkedIn, Facebook, Twitter, all that good stuff. These guys know what they're doing. To highlight the work that each of them do, we have data gods of the week that we kind of feature the work that they've been putting out. This week, the data god is Chris Webb. Chris Webb has been one of the guys that have been working in the data and analytics space since like the dawn of time. He's personally saved me and my job a number, his blog posts have. So I'm really excited to share his work with everyone else. And I wanted to show you something that he posted recently. In fact, it's this week's blog. It's talking about how to make your Power BI reports run faster by showing the same data in your visuals. All right. Now, the reason that this works is really important to understand how Power BI, and more so how modern web apps and JavaScript-based apps work. So Power BI is a web service front end, and thus it's basically it's like a Node.js front end engine that has got this great overlay that makes it really easy to work and build out in analytics without having to know anything about JavaScript, right? But fundamentally, though, it's still JavaScript, right? So that means it will only process one thing at a time, and that's why if you go into like the query optimizer or the performance report in Power BI and you click on it, and you'll see things start to run one at a time, right? Like it'll fire off and you'll see them start to go, but you'll never really see them having many things happen at the exact same time because it's all very single threaded. And that's the crux of the issue that a lot of people have when it comes to building out in Power BI. Is you've got this great dashboard, you've got all these different KPIs that you have on your dashboard, you've got these bar charts that you've laid out, right, and maybe some pie charts, and then you've got this grid at the bottom. The real challenge though becomes that each one of these is a visual that has to be refreshed by the service, and if you get a slow one at the start that starts processing before anything else does, you'll end up having a really bad experience inside of Power BI, right? Like for example, that big grid that you have at the bottom that's going against a high cardinality data set, that can take a really long time to refresh. So the big key is trying to find ways to minimize the number of visuals that you have inside of your Power BI reports. That can really help speed up the performance of your Power BI, even if it's the exact same data that you're bringing forward. And that's what Chris Webb's blog really calls out. He walks through and he talks about how you can go through and take 4 different KPIs and then build them out using a grid in the exact same fashion. And we like to, we read this, but maybe he's all full of it. So I want to test it out for myself. So I fired up my Kratos BI data set and I got to work testing out what Chris Webb was talking about here. So I went into Power BI, I opened it up, I added in my 5 measures, I built this out, and then I went over and I created a single measure or a single visual that is 100%. This is a grid. And you know what, frankly, while I've got some like number formatting issues that I could play with, realistically speaking, this looks pretty much the same as if I, instead of having 4 different cards here, or 5 different cards, I can do the exact same effect basically inside of a single visual. Of course, in this sample visual that you're looking up here, it's not really going to matter, right? But holy cow, there have been a number of different times where I've had really heavily loaded reports and dashboards that are out there that this could have been a deal breaker, right? So this is just a quick little run through of a blog post that Chris Webb put out there. It's really important to understand how the Power BI service, the engine works, if you want to figure out how to get the absolute best performance out of your reports and dashboards that you're building out. And if you're working at all on scale, like this goes out to my enterprise customers that are out there, or not enterprise customers, but enterprise, workers like myself. If you're working on a dashboard that goes out to thousands of salespeople or thousands of consumers, this is something you're really going to want to take into consideration. How quickly that dashboard refreshes, how fast it loads. Those things are going to become really important, okay? Take this as a tip. I'm going to put this link down below for you to check it out. As always, if you like the content that we're putting out on KratosBI.com and through this YouTube channel, like, subscribe. Really appreciate all of your, the people who have connected to me, who have started to follow me on LinkedIn, through Twitter, and on YouTube. I really appreciate all that stuff. You guys are the best. If you like the work that I'm doing, you want to go out to KratosBI.com, buy me a coffee. I'll really appreciate it. I'll send you a letter thanking you. And while supplies last, I've got these great, cool Power BI stickers that I'm throwing into each letter thanking you. One is the classic I Love Power BI sticker, and then there's the new holographic I Love Power BI sticker that is, frankly, this is super cool. I don't know how long these are going to last, but if you want one, buy me a coffee. I'll send you a letter and get that out to you. But thank you guys very, very much, and we will see you next time. Take care. Bye-bye.